another cheer to welcome JJ to the front?
Of course we do. We have lots of cheers. All right, we're going to do the truck driver cheer.
This is my favorite. So excited.
Actually, okay, I'm going to let Arminda model it because she does a really good job.
Oh, thank you. Okay, it goes like this. You go, good job, little buddy.
Okay, are we ready? On 1, 2, 3.
Good job, little buddy. All right. JJ.
So for really helping us live out one of the tenets of our vision, having true joy, I'll give you another class point. What we're going to do during this time is we're going to share out some of the strategies that you guys came up with for dealing with these potential challenges. And so what I would like to do is, when you share out, I would like you to tell me whether you are giving a proactive solution or a reactive solution. And on the left side of this column, I will be detailing the proactive solutions, and over here, what we would do in reaction to any of these challenges. So, who would like to share out? Yes, Shannon.
We said that you could establish like a time to meet, be it every other day or a meeting time that you had to meet so that it maintains that communication, and that would kind of force you to like address those agreements.
So for this first one, negotiating
Yeah, so basically set up a time to meet however often.
Good, set up regular meeting times. And I'm going to go ahead and say, give me a thumbs up if you agree that this could also be a reactive solution as well. You can do this before or after. I see some thumbs. Good, good. Okay, can I get someone? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
One of the things we noted for inconsistent expectations was to preventively preset those expectations as a teaching team.
Does anyone have something to share that you could do if you were midway through the year and you were having this issue? What you could do to address it? Christina?
You could begin documenting them in order to keep track.
And what would that lead to eventually?
That would lead to, if you realize that you're on the different pages, you can compare the way that the documentation's coming out. So if you have the same spreadsheet and one teacher's marking it all the time, the other teacher's not marking it, then you at least have data that you can then use to have that conversation.
Very good. Data always drives the conversation. Yes.
Oh, I had another reactive to the inconsistent expectations. That's during these conferences, you guys can go over specific scenarios that happened in your classes, and you guys can say how you responded, and then kind of like determine what would be the best practice in the future if something similar were to arise.
It's kind of like TFA role plays.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that can be preventative too, right? So like at the beginning of the year, like saying like, all right, so like what would I do if like this happened or this happened?
Can I get someone from Whitney's wonderful and talented CMA group to give me another strategy that I could use for any of these challenges? Paul?
Yeah, for having students having different attachments to different teachers. I was into the idea of just sort of embracing and running with that because I think it's natural that students will have different attachments to different teachers, and you just need to be aware of the different relationships that they have so that you know which teachers should go to which students for which realm.
Can everyone give snaps to Paul for having an asset-based mindset? Awesome. Yes.
Kind of building off of that, in terms of style of teaching, a proactive solution is having a discussion about your different styles and ways that you can leverage those styles for a particular lesson. So if one person is incredibly outgoing or a showman, they're going to be more effective during different types of lessons than someone who's more limited.
And for that one too, we also just wrote down like being receptive to different styles of teaching and being willing to try them and like understanding that students learn in different ways and that different things will be effective for different students. So it can be an asset.
And yes.
For management strategies as well as inconsistent expectations and being proactive, make sure you have a thorough management and investment plan.
Can I ask you, so, and what would your plan be to share that with your co-teacher who may not, you understand what I'm saying? You might meet that person on the first day of school. What's something that you could do to proactively prepare for that?
So, well, I guess if you could make it together after the first day, compare and contrast your investment plans to theirs, and make it so it's the same.
Maybe do some consensus building around that, right? Like come to the table with ideas, but also be willing to compromise and have an open mind.
Mr. Mesa.
For channels of communication, along with having preset meeting times, we said like going out to do things that you like. For us, it was getting drinks. We agreed on, but like doing things that like where you guys build that comfort and relationship building that is so crucial to being blunt with each other.
So having a relationship outside of the classroom,
Yeah.
cultivating that.
What was that?
Thank you. Yes.
I have another one that builds off of that, cultivating relationships. We talked about, wait, I just forgot. Showing, when you're in the classroom, showing your unity with each other, and most importantly, respecting one another, whatever their leadership styles, even if it may be choices that you wouldn't have wanted them to have made, showing that you have unity among your students.
Very good. I saw a hand over here. Yes.
Not wanting to step on each other's toes, we said that it was important just as we want to create a classroom culture where there's constructive criticism, that teachers themselves should create a culture of constructive criticism and do that in the kinds of relationships where we try to do it like this.
So would you say like just norming that? And
Yeah,
say,
keep it more.
okay, and one last comment. Yes, sir.
As a proactive solution, having no lead teacher, just scheduling who is going to be on point in front of the classroom for that one. Alternate.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Scheduling who's going to be on point for that day.
And I saw one more hand over here.
Yeah, I had one for parents, or we had one for parents, and that was a model because we said we should use me instead of I, communicating with parents, and then we should make it seem like it's coming from a place of unity. So whether it be, I think it also gives you more credibility as a teacher if you're calling home for a negative behavior purpose, it says, more than one of us saw it, we witnessed it. And if you're calling home for positive, it's saying that more than one of us noticed the positive. So there's the strength in numbers to be accurate.
Good. So we're always a team and always presenting it in that way. So yes.
And also recognizing that like sometimes different, like if you have students whose parents only speak one language and like one of the teachers speaks that language, being able to still, like having a collaborative document so that, or having conferencing between the teachers so that you know what went on even if you weren't able to directly hear it from the parent themselves.
Always collaborating. Well, I thank you guys for the rich discussion. I appreciate it. That was even better than I suspected, and since it doesn't cost me anything and I want a model, I'm gonna use another class point.
Awesome. Can we do the truck driver here one more time for JJ? And before we do this, I just want to note, after this session, you're going to have a session with the fantastic Taylor Dalhagen. He's wonderful. He is very into cheers. And so you are going to need to be able to share with him your expertise in fun cheers. So be on, there is an assessment. And it's Taylor Dalhagen. And he is the highest standards for enthusiasm in cheers. So on the count of 3, good job, everybody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job, everybody. Okay. Thank you, JJ, for your facilitation. And I want to call on a very brave and important person for raising a really important point. Natasha, can I ask you to share what you shared with me earlier? And I think everybody, actually, I'm going to ask, because this is so important. Can we all track Natasha right now?
So I thought 30 kids was a lot with everything. Okay. I learned working in the special needs community to use people first language. So what that means is instead of saying my autistic student, you'll say my student with autism, so that you don't define the student by their disability. So I just asked you to use people first language and with your students with special needs. Yeah.
It is, and I'll preemptively apologize. It is something I'm still working on to always do that. So I will do my best, and if you need to call me out on it, please do. I'm growing here, and I will try to use people first language, but I will freely confess that I sometimes am not so hot seat when it comes to that. Okay, so we are moving to our final activity for today, and that is that I tried to give each partner, like a pair, a role play to do. If I have more, so if you can either, if there aren't enough slips of paper, you can either do this in a group of 3, or you can ask me and I can give you another one. We're just going to take about 5 minutes right now to read the role play, pick one person to go first, modeling, like having a productive conversation or using a strategy to help to resolve some conflict. And then we'll switch and have the other person do it as well. But we're going to try to do this like fairly quickly. So, yeah, when I say go, you're going to turn to your partner. Please use indoor voices. Read the role play together, and then choose one person to go first. Go.